guys, it's Ash here. I'm going to be casting another 1v1. Down in the bottom right hand corner we have Ash, me, playing red Zerg. Ooh, kind of annoying. I love to play purple because, you know, I just love Zerg in purple. Anyway, top left hand corner we have Lux here playing Protoss. I think he's ranked silver. I'm not sure on what server. I think it's the European server. I just want to talk about this map a second quickly. Loving the placement of these towers, although there is a lot of them to be honest. So if you take each one of these, you can see the whole map. You've got quite fairly big choke here. If you were playing Terran, you couldn't get some nice siege tanks up here. Maybe if you're going mech in this, if you're let's say Zerg, which I think is the only thing you really do go mech against. So it's nice for playing mech. Although I'm liking it for Zerg as well, just because there is a lot of open area for maybe counters. So you could, their army comes at you from down here, you can destroy these rocks and then come up from here and then get a nice surround. I know where I recognise this map from. This map is the beta of Wings of Liberty. No, it isn't. It's Heart of the Swarm I'm thinking of, where they have the destructible rocks here and you can destroy them and they cover up this. So don't have the destructible rocks on this, which is a little bit annoying because you can use them to block off your ramp, which I think is very useful. I think I'm trying to go for a lot of my overlord spread here, sending it right up here to the corners, so if he does try and get a early stalker out to try and snipe my overlord, I don't get supply blocked, because that really does affect me in the early game if he takes out that first overlord, that first scouting overlord quite quickly. And then with my second overlord I'm using it to chuck over my hatchery just to see if he wanted to try and stick a pylon here and then a cannon just to deny that hatcheries, because it does look like he is going for a fast expand by the looks of this, which should be tight if I try and run any Zerglings up by the time I do get any up, which I won't, as he has scouted when you saw that drone coming up here that he sees my hatchery. So even if I did try and cancel it, that was already down at this point, so I wouldn't have got any Zerglings out any quicker by cancelling this hatchery. So that would have been pointless. See, I'm trying to grab these towers. Don't think I actually realised how many there actually were on this map. Also, there's a lot of expos. I mean, you've got your natural, and then you've got, I guess this would be your third, and this would be your fourth. But then you've got these two other expos here and here, which I don't know. Yeah, you can access them from both sides. I think this one's on the high ground, so I think it'd be better to take this one just for defense wise, because if you were to take this one and he was going to attack from this side and you had your army here, he could maybe take the high ground and get the advantage there. Looks like I'm going for a standard double queen off my 15 pull. I haven't moved this overlord yet. I think it would be nice just to try and move this up here to see if he's going for a rush. I mean, they may snipe it and it might supply block me, but it would mean that I know they're coming, so those units would get out that little bit earlier, just to help them try and deny that. Oh god, I thought he didn't have a wall off then, but no, he does. He has a drone in there. So I'm guessing he's going to put that zealot, yeah, putting that zealot in there, and then putting him on hold position just to make sure I can't get up there. Looks like he is going for double gas here, so it looks like he was going for a lot of heavy gas in this game, which you will find out why, which it was a fairly close game in my opinion. But I think in the late game I just took it because I had the expo advantage, because he didn't actually do any major harassment, which I was a bit sad at, but because he is only silver, I think that is fair enough, because I think it's only really gold you start get the killing harassment with the drops from the warp prism. I knew what it was called, don't worry, I haven't forgotten just yet. I still know how to play for a little bit longer. Let's see, looks like I'm going for my standard early upgrades, which I love to get, because if they do go for a timing push at like the 10 minute mark-ish, or I think it's more like 7-8 minute mark it comes, then I should have that +1 attack out. I think I'd normally do like to go for the shields, the armor upgrade, but I don't think I had enough gas at the time when I started researching it, so I did decide to go for that melee attack, which does cost that 150 gas cheaper, which nothing late game but early game. Really struggling to get that extra gas. Looks like I'm going to be going for my third down here instead of here, which I guess would have probably been more sensible, but I didn't know this map very well, so I did go for an expo here. Because yes, I can destroy this and get to it faster, or could I? No, it's about the same distance actually to get from there and then around to there. So it's about the same distance from that, but one, I'd have to destroy these rocks, and two, in my opinion, it's easier to counterattack, because if I put my expo here and my army's here and they come in to take my expo, I can just come straight back down. Where here, I have to funnel my army through this choke here, or just take it all the way around, in which time it could just slip back up into here if it destroyed those rocks, if I had forgotten to destroy those rocks already. I'm going for a fairly bad creep this game. I think it would be nice to get my creep a little bit better, but see what I'm doing here by placing this one creep tumor in the top. That is basically 4, so I can connect these bases with creep, which really does affect it. It does affect it in the early game a lot, not so much in the late game, unless they do some harassment, which I kind of rarely get, to be honest, because I'm not in that high of league. But early game, if they're rushing you to get those lings down, those like 2-3 seconds out, it really does help. Let's have a look, see what he's doing. Looks like he's going to be placing another cannon here. 2-3 cannons here. I don't know, let's have a look at his scouting information. Well, he knows I have the expo here, but he hasn't really scouted my main properly at all, so he doesn't know what tech I'm going, which is fairly late, and I wouldn't recommend. I mean, I know it's Protoss and they generally don't scout as much, but if I were to go for maybe mass Mutalisk, 3 Stalkers, and they would be coming out round about now, he just wouldn't have the defense to deal with it. So I'd literally be getting here round about nowish. Now I've got some roaches out for defense, but I think I'm trying to go for a fairly macro game. Also, you probably noticed, but I didn't because I'm so map aware, but this hatchery hasn't finished yet. Basically because as I was saying before in another one of my recordings, to send the drone around to your hatchery, but not actually place it till it gets there, because you save those 300 minerals till later, I forgot to place it, so that was severely delayed, so I think he does have the advantage. Let's look at the units tab. Okay, he doesn't have the advantage on the workers, but by looking at this, yeah, this is where the extra drones were being dumped. See, I pull half of my drones over to here, to this expo here, just so this lasts longer, because if he were to suddenly start attacking me a lot, then and take out this expo, I'd have to pull up here, and then my main might be nearly mined out. But because I've dragged half of my drones away, this is going to last an extra few minutes, which means I have an extra few minutes mine time later on the game if he were to push me back into my base. See, I'm put a link here to see when he's expanded, and looks like he is going for Void Rays. So he's going for triple Stargate with a lot of voids. So it looks like he may be going for mass Void Ray, but adding in some Zealots and some Stalkers, maybe to trick me to scout it when I was scouting with Suicide things, maybe, so I just see those Stalkers and Zealots and not these Void Rays. I'm guessing maybe I might see the front of this one, but no, my pro scouting, bro. I'm chucking in that, so I have seen these Void Rays here, and I've seen these supply the amount of production facilities he does have, so he's not going to go for something for like thousands of Void Rays of that, so I am expecting him to still be mixing in some units, as I think 4 Void Rays at the 13-minute mark isn't quite there. But let's just take down that. he's floating 1,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. I mean, I'd obviously never float that much. You know, never at all. Never. So I think we're both floating a lot of minerals here, which I think I notice. I do notice, so I'm chucking down double macro hatchery just to try and kick them out. Because I've suddenly realised what I've been doing, as I always do, and it normally loses me the game, where basically I go really macro heavy, and then they go macro heavy, but I just keep on macroing, which means I get to like 80, 90 drones by like the 10-minute mark, I think. I'm not so much in this game, I'm only at 7 or 14, so I'm not doing it as hard as I think I started to remember to get roaches out. But yeah, I'll go really hard on my economy and I'll just forget about making units, and I'll be floating like 3,000 minerals on each side and then just die, and they'll be looking at me like, oh my god, such a noob, he has absolutely nothing, and I'll just be crying on the floor, probably because I've fallen off my chair again. But oh well. Looks like I will be getting some corruptors out just to try and counter those void rays, which he is apparently going to be getting a fair amount of, and adding some on some gateways here. But I just don't think he has enough. Yeah, he doesn't have enough production facilities at the moment, so we will be adding them on here. And I like how he's doing this, because pretty much instead of just putting them like maybe up here out of the way, that'd be safer. There's more risk here, but the formation he's put them in basically means he's making his own choke. So say he's got his void rays here, which obviously don't get stuck in chokes because it's an air unit. His minimal ground units will be here. My units will be bunched up, so the void rays will get full air superiority, and I know. His units will not get killed straight away, as only the front line of my units will be able to attack this, whilst the rest will be attacking his gateways, which frankly will only take down his warp in by about, what, 2 or 3 at most. But I think he should really be adding on about another 5 or 6 gateways now, just to boost up that production facility. But he is going for a fleet beacon and the upgrade for carriers, so it looks like he will be kicking out some carriers, so this is going to be interesting. So, I mean, this build I've done here I thought was ponied, and I was just like, there's no way they can beat me this. I mean, Mass Queen, Corruptor and Roach for the ground unit, and then Infestors to fungal the where are they? Where have you run off to? The Void Rays, when I find them. There they are, to fungal growth the Void Rays, because as you all know, fungal growth is really good v Void Rays. Infested Terrans good, not so much, because generally if they're not in a big army, they can focus them down before they actually spawn. So I was just going to transfuse on those queens just to keep them alive on the front line. I'm sending up a Corruptor here to get some scouting intel, as I think I couldn't find any of my overseas at the time. I think there's one there and a few others. So at this point I have scouted. He's got stalkers. He's made himself a choke here, which I didn't think that clicked in my mind to be a perfect choke, which you'll see earlier. Guess you use your imagination. Guess what happened there?
Mutation.
I don't actually see how many that he's going for carriers and void rays, because I know he's got some void rays, and I was assuming this is silver, so I don't think he's going to go mass void ray, which he didn't. He did add in carriers there, and he is going for some nice upgrades on that. 111. Okay, let's have a look. See at my Corruptor upgrades. 1. Okay, so he's definitely got the upgrade advantage against me here. Looks like I will be going for double spire here just to try and get them out that little bit quicker, because as you all know, upgrades for air units as Zug take absolutely ages. I mean, I don't know how long they take for a Protoss, because I don't play Protoss, so you'll have to tell me that if they take absolutely ages as well. Looks like he's going to be adding on a lot of cannons, so he's... Oh god, here we go. Me running into a choke. See, I'm transfusing my queens quite well, but see what I mean? These only attacking these, and the rest of this lot is attacking these gateways, and the cannon's getting a surprising amount of damage here. and then he takes control of his board race and just comes in, and I mean I'm trying to get some fungals off, but because it is just so bunched off, literally I can get about 5 units attacking at the same time. So I'm desperately trying to destroy these gateways just to try and get that bigger surface area to attack these void rays. But it just doesn't happen in time, and I get roped over. Because I can't obviously pull out, because I have about 17 queens-ish in that army. So, and as you know, queens of creep are ridiculously slow. So, you know, I managed to get some infestors out, but that's about it. So, basically, at this point, I'm expecting him to attack as he is completely thrashing me. So I'm just spamming corruptors as much as I can. I know I've still got some infestors, and that's enough really to fungal growth this bunch for quite a while, although he has got a mothership, and mixing in some DTs here, which I actually love. So he can either, if I don't make a ground army at all, he can just send them straight into my base, and if I do make a ground army, they're just going to get absolutely raped over by those DTs, because generally I always forget to have an overseer of my army, it's just me. But at this point, I'm like, well, I've got a lot of corruptors, but this might beat him, it might not, I'm not 100% sure. So what I do is make 1 or 2 spine crawlers, just to see if I can fungal growth them here, like I do, and then pull out. I mean, at this point, I do notice that he's got DTs, so I believe if I go on production, no, I'm not, because no, I was going to say I'm not doing that at the moment. Let's give it a go. There you go. I'm trying to focus down the units here. He does pull in a lot of my units here, so I decide to pull out and let my stalkers take some of the damage. I run into here. I'm not sure if this was worth it or not. I mean, maybe if I managed to... No, I don't think enough time to pull the spore crawlers forward to take this out. I mean, the spore crawlers do count as detection, so if I didn't know before, I definitely do now know that those DTs are here. I do mostly destroy his army, so he's not going to be able to take me out at this point. But because I am just floating so many minerals, I barely manage to take out these carriers just because of their upgrades. I mean, if I can actually get I can't get an intercept, I'm not even going to try. I've got 2 attack, 1 armor, and he is on click on an interceptor. Can I even, there we go. He has got 2 armor, 1 shield, and 2 attack on his interceptors. So he's still beating me on upgrades, but I do have this nice defense here. But I'm guessing if he does have any brains, he could literally just take them off around the edge of the map and just start harassing my expansions here, because I have chucked down 2 spore crawlers at each just to help with the odd void ray that comes in and tries to harass, which never actually happened, apart from this one here, which is like mainly full. But I don't think that was actually up when I started chucking them down. So at this point, I'm floating about 6,000 minerals and not much gas, and gas is the thing I need so badly right now. So pretty much I'm stopping, I'm saying, okay, what do you need to do to win this game? I'm like, alright, I need gas, so what do I need to do? I need to expand, and I need to know, and I need to scout him more to see if he tech changes into more of a ground army, maybe stalkers to counter my corruptors. So I'm taking these expos here to get the extra gas and also see where he's expanding. I think I went to do it here as well. I'm not sure, maybe I did that a bit later. I've still got this tower. I guess he didn't really put on any pressure to take that, so he's not really going for much map control here. Did I just scout that? I'm not sure. I have not scouted that yet. So it looks like he's going to be going for another expo here to just boost up his economy a little bit more. And I'm just having a quick look around just to see what damage I can do, because at this point I'm like, right, he's going mass air units and I've got all these roaches and I'm pretty much maxed out, so I'm just going to charge these into his base just to see what damage I can do. And lo and behold, I find a massive mineral line and an open expo. So So I'm taking this out, and now I'm like, okay, I've done enough damage. There's no point me trying to push onto the main, because if I do, chances are I will lose all those roaches and not do a whole lot of damage. So I'm borrowing the units, hoping that they carriers just forget I'm there maybe and go away. You know? Not my luck though, they didn't. So those carriers are doing a colossal amount of damage to my roaches, which I actually wanted, which took down my supply by about 20 or 30, which means I can make this many more corruptors, which may just favour me that little bit more in the battle. I'm getting finally remembering to get in some overseas to detect those DTs. Let's have a look at his unit composition, I think, because I know he's got carriers with nearly +3. If I go on production, it looks like he is researching his +3 for ground and starting on it for air. Maybe picking off the odd carrier here. Oh, I did pick it off. Nearly didn't. I think I only lost about 1 corruptor there, so corruptor for 1 carrier I think is just about worth it. So it looks like his unit composition is carrier, DT, stalker, which means pretty good, because those stalkers and carriers are going to be, well, as you know, corruptors hardcore counter carriers, but if he starts to get them in massive numbers, I'm really not sure what counters it. I guess it's going to be something like Mass Queen Corruptor, because then you can just transfuse on it. I think I scouted with an Overseer here that his mothership came out, and so I just pulled them up here just to see if he moved it or not, and he didn't. So basically that means that I swung my Corruptors in here. I know I did sacrifice quite a few of them to these cannons, I think 3 or 4, but compared to a carrier I think that was worth it. Looks like he's getting drones out before his carrier, so I think not realising that he's still getting drones out of that expo. Pushing in here again. I don't think I have detection here to scout these, so I guess I'm going to have to pull out at this point, but I do have detection up here. So if I pull them in, I think logic says I should try and kite these DTs, and I should be able to take them all out. Because I know there's not many here, but I think DTs are like, what, 150 gas, I think, which is at this stage of the game is quite a lot, saying he only has like 60 or 70 gas. Sticking some pylons here, I'm guessing that's in case I get some muters out, which I guess would have been good to try and harass these mineral lines, but I think I was just focused on corruptors so much because I didn't want to lose this game. Looks like his mothership is going to be starting around about now, and not adding on any more production facilities. I'm guessing that's because he just doesn't have the economy at the moment, because I guess he must know at this point that I have the army advantage, so he's just trying to. So I guess when you're losing, you can either do one of the two things: either macro really hard and try and get their economy, but then you sacrifice your economy, and if you go, if you work hard on your army side, you sacrifice your economy, and if you work hard on your economy, you sacrifice your army. So I guess it's all down to scouting, to be honest, to see what they're doing. Because if they start working hard on their economy, and you go for an army, their army's probably maybe going to be able to take yours, and you'll just lose. Anyway, I'm trying to focus down this fleet beacon here, or fleet bacon, whatever, however you like to say it. Like, he's still going to be kicking out these carriers, which I wouldn't have done at this point. I think I would have switched to maybe Blink Stalker Zealot, because I pretty much maxed out on air units right now, so if he did make that tech switch, he would probably catch me with my pants down. Looks like I was moving these overlords forward here just to take a little bit of more map ground with these spore crawlers and chucking down that creep. Although, talking about creep, not that good this game, I don't think. I mean, I've got a little bit of map awareness in front of my bases, but not a whole lot. What are my upgrades to my ground? 2-2, that's not too bad. I think he's pretty much on 3-3 though. Let's click on a drone. Okay then, no attack. I swear was it just me who was researching +3 attack earlier? Let's have a look. Production. Well, I'm researching my +3 attack on my air, and he's researching his +2 shields. So, looks like I was wrong. I'm sorry, apparently he doesn't have his +3 attack. Although he's on Stalker. He has +2, okay. So he could be researching his +3 sometime. So got these DTs here, guess keeping them out of the way of those roaches in case I start kiting him. That is a lot of corruptors. I think I could probably take him at this point, to be honest. Although, I do like his style of play. I loved his style of play, it was awesome. Big shout out for him for using that build. Everyone loves someone that goes for those wacky builds, just to see if it works. But I think at this point I've just got too many corruptors. Oh no, it's a Stalker. Like, a billion corruptors v1 Stalker. Who wins? The Stalker just takes a really long time. Although that helps. So it looks like he's going to be starting to transition into Stalkers now. But I think I just have... What is my roach count like right now? Let's have a look. I have, like, that many roaches, I think. I mean, not hiding under there. So I have about 6 roaches. So I'm fully maxed out on corruptors. So if he just at this point goes mass Stalker, he probably could take me. Although, does he realise that I'm maxed out on corruptors? I mean, I've got the odd thing burrowed here. Although he's going for some observers here. I think this is pretty much the first time in the game he's going to be scouting out. Let's go for him. There we go. Yeah, I think this is pretty much the first time in the game that he's going to be scouting me out. So his scouting information is absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, I think is the main reason why he lost this game, apart from his economy. Well, not his economy, he had a fairly good economy actually, to be honest. Maybe he expanded once more, it would have been nice. But I think just not harassing me and just letting me expand so many times, I think was the main one even. And if he did scout, he would have seen how my playstyle was. And also at this point noticed that I was maxed out on corruptors. So if he thought, he said, well, he's maxed out on corruptors, I'm not going to destroy his corruptors. Because, I mean, corruptors can kill other corruptors if I tell him a attack, but that's going to take a long time. And if he hadn't have destroyed all these corruptors, I would have still been maxed out on corruptors. Which means, as long as he could have just marched them into my base and taken them out. But because he did take out so many corruptors here, I have now a decent amount of roaches. So I'm going to pull them back to here. I think I'll take out 1 or 2. 1, yeah, about 1. So now I'm just trying to kite these DTs. Am I going for... I am. There's some overseers. So now I'm just going to be kicking out these roaches. What upgrades I am? 2-2 still. I think he's on... So yeah, the upgrades are matched on our ground units. I guess he's got a little bit more. Look how polite I am. GL, good luck. Although probably he may have thought that was being a bit rude, being cocky, but I didn't mean it like that. Sorry, I didn't mean like that if you are watching this. So I'm trying to kite these zealots here. Hope it's fine. Although he has got a fair amount of stalkers here. I mean, he's definitely got the right idea here, trying to pull me into these cannons, just so he has the advantage, but I'm not going to go for that. I know if I go in there I'm dead, but I've floated good 4,000 minerals on each side, so there's pretty much at this point really no way I can lose, as long as I keep just spamming roaches and scouts. Emphasis on the scout, I think. You'd think it'd be the roaches, but if he suddenly takes roaches into mass roach, I'm not going mass roach. Not going to be fun. I mean, I could just run him into his base, I guess. But if he's got more than like 20 or 30 void rays, which I guess he might be able to do at this point, but I just don't think he has the economy to support that many. See, I'm trying to run some things like this. I did scout this at one point. This is interesting. What I did here, basically, I didn't run them out as soon as I saw these cannons. I kept them kept running in and then put them on hold position here just so it stops him from transferring drones. But then he walked in DTs and killed them. But then I borrowed, so yay. I'm guessing he's going to get out an observer at some point and just try and do that. See what I mean about choke points? One cannon stopping a whole army of roaches. Choke points, man. You've got to learn. So see, trying to pull me into those cannons again. Wow, I am floating a lot. I'm going to go on to APM just to see what this goes to. Yeah, wow, I've got all that micro info. I think at this point he's pretty much given up to us. I'm very current 5, 7, yeah. Think, what is he trying to do? I mean, at this point I don't think there is much. I'm just going to speed this up a bit. Let's put this in 4 times, because I think basically he just sits around and just makes me destroy every single one of his buildings. So some nice kiting going on here. So he goes mass zealot DT, which hardcore well, it doesn't hardcore counter. It counters my roaches, but obviously I can kite now with my +3, yay. So I can just kite against the zealot DT fairly well. Looks like I'm pretty much going for mass roach here. Let's speed this up a little bit more. You see me here just trying to kite out his units. This point, I've been trying to count his units, so what I do is I pause this here, I send my roaches at this point on a move command just to get here and then attack. He sends his army down here to attack here, then I pull this lot up here to attack here, so I'm attacking at 2 sides, which is good if you're in like gold or diamond, but I can't micro 2 bunches of army at the same time. So there's me A moving here, cannons attack me, units come in. I mean I'm trying, so then I start kiting here, but then here these are A moving, and then these zealots come in. So he rates me over in this front, and then I beat him on this front, he pulls back, and these zealots get absolutely raised. So I think it was a good thought process, but I'm just not that good enough to be able to do that. But I can still I've still got enough roaches here just to be able to count on kiting these zealots. Yeah. That is really annoying me, honestly. It's that one spore formula. So I am trying to pull away the injured ones to get these ones. I don't know why I pull those ones though. Pull those ones anyway. You stackers should be prepared to attack. I mean, if I maybe pulling away these hurt roaches in front, probably make them last that little bit longer. But at this point, I mean, not much here, but I've got a fairly good economy. Well, so has he. He's got a good 1,000 minerals to spend. I guess, because maybe it is because I wasn't just sending in a whole wave of roaches. They thought maybe my economy was completely dead, which it wasn't. So maybe that's why he was not. I think I could have probably just focused down that pylon and then this cannon wouldn't have been able to take the roaches. But oh well, it's cool. Speed this up again. So I'm just trying to go straight for the economy here. Me wondering why he's not GGing. So he's doing a pro transbar up here just to try and long distance mine. Not so good when it's off my expo, but I guess he didn't know it was there at this point. You're probably saying why I'm saying casting it to replay. It's basically because I tried to cast it whilst playing it and it really didn't work. I completely failed. I was literally for about 10-20 minutes this was just me not speaking, so I gave up on that and then just decided just cast the replay of it basically. So I'm focusing down this fleet beacon, but guess what, it's too late. He tech switches. Ta-da! That was perfect timing, honestly. So he's got a carrier with +3 against my mass ground army of roaches. I think I do have a bunch of corruptors somewhere. What, one there. Let's just look at my units. That'll be easier. I have 6 corruptors, so that probably would be able to... I don't know, 6 corruptors for... What are my upgrades? So I've got +3 attack, +2 armor. What's that? Level 2, so +1 armor then. +2 attack, +2 armor. So I think I may be able to take that out. So, what's this? And 3 void rays. So, guess this point I'm just going to have to take out his buildings and let him destroy some of my roaches so I can get out a few more corruptors. So I think at this game, I think just knowing the best way is to try and free up supply late game, I think would have been useful. Because I think moving every single one of the roaches. So I think because I have got such a big economy, I think maybe this mineral line offs, just to try and free up supply, maybe. I guess that could have been a viable option. I want to see that mothership get destroyed because I thought that would be interesting. So I skipped past that. So yeah, that was me casting StarCraft 1v1. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. And let's wait for this mothership. Oh, look at that badass. Apparently that's me. Apparently. Doesn't look like not that much. But I think... Where are my corruptors? Bloody hell. So yeah. Where are they? Here they are. Corruptors come in. I think I use focus down in that mothership. Guess it's going to be like a focus down. And then just individual. Well, not really focus firing on those last 2, but taking down those last 2 void rays, kind of. Anyway, that was me casting SC2. I hope you enjoyed it, and goodbye.